let a young player like Michael Pepper in ahead of him. And Wood will now bowl to Tenduscarter, who's made 18. Lawrence is on 42. That's another full toss, and it's hit just over the leaping short fine leg for 4. And that takes Essex to 154 for 3 and Tenduscarter up to 22.
Yeah, he's gone for the Yorker there, Chris Wood. Just overdone it there, and in the end it's at a nice height for Tenduscarter to whip away. And he's doing it again, isn't he? Late runs, just as he did at Chelmsford earlier in this competition.
Well, if it is his last year in county cricket, which is generally anticipated it is, but I wouldn't put it past him to decide that he wouldn't mind one more. But he's certainly finishing it in good style as Wood bowls to him. And he's crashed this one, and that's going away. It might even be 6. It isn't. It's bounced a couple of times on its way into the rope in front of the scoreboard away to our right. There are 2 scoreboards here, and that one's at square leg as we watch from the pavilion end. And consecutive boundaries to end the over from Tenduscarter, who's gone on to 26 off 18 deliveries. Lawrence has 42 from 36, and Essex are 158 for 3 with 1 over to go.
And Chris Wood concedes 42 off his 4 overs with 1 wicket. That 1 wicket was Michael Pepper, whom he bowled for 5. Now, who's bowling the last over? It looks like Shaheen Afridi, who was quite impressive earlier on in the Essex innings. In fact, we haven't seen him, I don't think, since the power play. I think off the top of my head he bowled 3 overs, didn't he?
Overs 1, 3 and 5.
Yeah, so he's back on for Hampshire. I should imagine he's quite stiff after such a long break. His 3 overs conceded just 11.
And one of those was a wide. Yeah, terrific bowling. First over went for 3, second over for 1, and the third with 1 boundary in it, and it wasn't as if it was a bad ball. It was a lovely shot from Tom Westley, who met it on the top of the bounce. Just really nothing more than apparently a gentle push, went all the way to the cover boundary. Apart from that, there was no blowing anger whatsoever off Shaheen Afridi. It's been one of the highlights of the day for me to see him in the flesh for the first time here.
Switching ends to the hotel end then, bowling to Dan Lawrence, who has 42 off 30. What's going to happen in this last over? A few fireworks, I'm sure, from an Essex point of view. Hampshire were hoping to keep that quiet, but not on that occasion, as that's worked away behind square on the offside. Full delivery outside off stump, and Lawrence launched that away on the offside, and there's the 50 partnership between these two, and it's come off 29 deliveries.
Well, he is a talent, Dan Lawrence, because he can play shots with no great apparent effort that go a long way. And as I say, when he's in a bit of form, he's well worth watching.
So first delivery's gone for a boundary. Here's Afridi. He's round the wicket. Essex 162 for 3. There is a sort of a normal pass score here, but we need a few more here as that's full, and that's driven out hard into the covers. It's picked up cleanly by Crane, keeps it down to a single on the short boundary side. 163 for 3. Tenduscarter back on strike. So
Lawrence, if he can get back on strike, needs 3 for a 50, and Tenduscarter 26. I think will be primarily concerned with seeing if he can add another boundary. Essex would love to get up to 170 here.
4 balls left as Afridi comes in and bowls to Tenduscarter, who works it away on the onside. They're going to run 2 here, I think. Fuller comes in off deep mid-wicket. They're already turning. The ball comes towards the keeper at a commentary end, and it's a comfortable 2.
Yep, as you rightly said, straight away they were always going to attempt the second there, and of course it's a big boundary away to our left, and it was always on, granted that 2 quick men between the wickets with a good understanding between them. We're in the middle. These two have had many a good partnership in both forms of the game, red ball and white ball.
So 165 for 3 then. Tenduscarter on 28. That's come off just 19 deliveries. Faces the next delivery from Afridi round the wicket, and that's just guided towards the third man, but there are a couple of fielders there guarding that area. Ian Holland, one of them, picks it up, and Essex will pick up just a single. 166 for 3. 2 balls left of their innings.
Hampshire's discipline with the ball has been good. No balls, therefore no free hits. Hardly a wide either, so the discipline's been very good. They haven't given anything away.
No, you're right. The run rate's a fraction under 8.5 and over. throughout this Essex innings. There's Afridi bowls, and that's worked out on the onside by Lawrence. Surely they're going to run 2. It's almost split the field. In fact, it has split the field really between North East and Fuller out there away to our left, and that is a comfortable 2 on the long boundary side. 168 for 3. Lawrence 1 short of a half century. Surely he will get it, because there's another ball left of their innings.
Yes, I think probably in this form of the game, players, unless it's 100 rather than the 50, are not that fussed. You know, if they'll take it if it sort of comes out, but they won't sort of deliberately farm the strike.
Lawrence with 80 in his last game. Looks like he's going to back that up with another half century here, with final delivery then of the Essex innings, bowled by Afridi, and he's not actually, because that's gone through to the keeper, and McManus underarms the throw back to the stumps, misses. A good delivery there from Afridi, slightly short. Lawrence tried to angle it down to third man, it missed, it bounced, so Lawrence won't get his half century. He stays at 49, and the Essex total stays at 168 for 3. Afridi finishes with 4 overs, none for 21, and Hampshire will need 169 for victory here. Ryan Tenduscarter finishes 29 not out as well.
Yeah, you know, it's another very good over from Shaheen Afridi there. It's gone for 10 runs, and you might think, oh, that doesn't sound too clever, but when you've got 2 batsmen who are among the best hitters in the game, looking very much to sort of take anything up to 20 off the final over, if you can keep it down to 10, if you'd any sense, you'd say settle for that and say well bowled, and I think it was well bowled by Shaheen Afridi. Lovely to see him playing for Hampshire here. Just 21 off 4 overs. Very good effort indeed. Mason Crane, I thought, as well. Excellent bowling from him, 1 for 27 in his 4. And generally, good tidy bowling, good tactical cricket from Hampshire. And Essex, after the start they had, in the end they have sort of made decent runs over the last 4 or 5 overs. As I say, if Tenduscarter had come in at the fall of the second wicket, I think Essex would have made another 10 to 15 runs, but they've got 168 for 3, and it's fairly close, isn't it? It could go either way, this game. It all depends if Hampshire can get a couple of players to get in there and stay in.
Thanks very much for the moment, Paul Newton. We're staying on BBC Essex frequencies as well. We're staying on the online feed via the BBC Sport website, and of course we're on the live stream of Hampshire Cricket and via the Hampshire Cricket app. Paul's going to take a bit of a break here, and back with me, alongside me, Kevin James, is Hampshire's injured all-rounder Liam Dawson. Any sort of further updates on that Achilles injury, Liam?
No, it's all good news at the minute. I'm obviously a month into my recovery now, so yeah, it's very positive. It's healed, the scar's healed very well. I'm just starting some strength work now in the area, so no, we're very positive how it's going at the minute.
So was the doctor on the ground, or did you have to go and visit the doctor?
No, we have a doctor here every game.
Right,
so Mark Wotherspoon's his name, and he's been around the England team for a number of years, and we're lucky to have him here as our club doctor as well, so he's brilliant at what he does.
Right, let me just read out the full Hampshire bowling figures for you. Shaheen Afridi, his most economical figures to date in this competition: 4 overs, none for 21. Chris Wood, 4 overs, 1 for 42. Ian Holland, 4 overs, none for 37. Mason Crane, 4 overs, 1 for 27. Another good spell from him. And Ryan Stevenson, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 40. I know you missed a sort of a fairly large chunk of the middle of the Essex innings, but 168 for 3. I know when you left, you would have thought they might have got a few more than that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, without doubt, but I think it shows the nature of this ground. I think a winning score is 163 over the years, and I think it shows why such a strong power play helps your middle order, because it's a ground where after the power play it's hard to hit boundaries, it's hard to try and keep up with the rate, because the nature of the size of the ground that you'd like to get 200, it's hard to do that. So I think 168 is a pretty good score from Essex.
Paul Williams just tweeted, he said, hope you had good news, Liam. I think that might just have come just before you just explained the doctor's thinking when you were with him. Think Essex may be 10 short, thinks Paul Williams. Need a good power play though. 10 short, I suppose he's basing that on the 182 Hampshire hit 2 days ago.
Yeah, and also, yeah, it's all going to come down to the power play. It's going to be the first 6 overs. If Hampshire can get off to a flyer, you can kill the game early in that power play. So they'll be looking to get 50 for 1, and if they manage to do that, then they should be in with a shout to win this game of cricket.
Just to run through very quickly the Essex card. Cameron Delport, 31 off 22. Tom Wesley, 51 off 37. Michael Pepper, just the 5 off 7 deliveries. But that partnership at the end, Dan Lawrence and Ryan Tender-Scarter, they came together in the 15th over when the score was 110. Lawrence finishing 49 not out off 34, and Tender-Scarter 29 not out off 20 deliveries. He keeps doing that, doesn't he, Ryan Tender-Scarter? Just comes in with runs. He's difficult to get out as well.
No, I mean, he's proven again that age is just a number. He's extremely fit. You can see the way he finish innings. He's running 2s to the big boundary, and he still looks a proper athlete. So there's no reason why he couldn't carry on playing for another year or two.
And Dan Lawrence, it looks as though we spoke about Dan Lawrence, didn't we, before the game and that. And I don't know, it was Paul Newton was saying that in a way, having got 80 in the last game for Essex and sort of was a lot more aggressive down at Hove, perhaps wasn't quite so much so here.
I mean, you got to look when he come in as well. I think he probably came in just after the power play or at the end of the power play, and as I said, to come in here with the field back, it's hard to take those fielders on, so he'd have probably thought that he'd have to give himself a little bit more of a chance. I think he stands up on 49 off not many balls, so he did a great job, and he was a player at the start of the day that I was looking forward to see play, because he's completely changed how he plays his T20 cricket. He's quite aggressive.
Yeah, that's 49 of 34 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. I'll bring you up to date with the England score. If you're taping it and you want to watch later on or something, or you want to watch the highlights, then just turn off for the moment now, because I know some people get a bit funny about it. But in the one-day international, England against Australia, bit of a recovery actually, because England lost early wickets, didn't they? They've got 168 for 4 now in the 34th, and Johnny Bairstow is 90 not out.
Yeah, what a player, isn't he? I mean, he's one of the best in the world. And I think it's going to be a good game. I think there's been fairly low scoring at Old Trafford throughout the whole series, and the way Australia collapsed the previous game, England will know that if they get a score on the board, they can really put pressure on that Australian middle order.
Sam Billings following up his 100 the other day. He's 33 not out, so giving Johnny Bairstow some good support. And there's one other blast match going on right now. It's also in the South Group. Middlesex 184 for 6 off their 20 overs, and they are playing the Kent Spitfires. A little later on this evening at 6:30, Glamorgan take on Somerset in Cardiff. Also at 6:30, the Yorkshire Vikings take on Durham at Headingley, and also at the same time, Surrey take on the Sussex Sharks at the Oval. Here at the Ageas Bowl, Essex 168 for 3 off their 20 overs, looking to put together 2 wins from 2 after beating Sussex down at Hove in their last game, and Hampshire looking to avoid a 5th straight defeat. In fact, they've lost 5 from their last 6. You mentioned about the power play, Liam. Obviously an important power play. It's going to be slightly different because we haven't seen George Munsey in a Hampshire shirt for a little while. In fact, not since the second game against Essex at Chelmsford. So maybe a little bit more firepower up top. But I'm just thinking, Sam Northeast looks as though he's in a bit more nick now. James Vince. So I don't know. I would, if I was in that order right now, I would think, well, actually, at least there's 2 or 3 players ahead of me that actually are in a bit of form. So will that, in the dressing room right now, will that sort of help? Will help some of the players in the middle order?
Without doubt, I think any firepower at the top of the orders is how you win T20 games of cricket. Getting off to quick starts, killing run chases in those first 6 overs is a big part of being a successful 2020 side. So with Munsey coming into the team, we talked about his strike rate of being 160 in his career so far. So if he can get off to that sort of start, as I said, he could kill the game in his first 6 overs in this power play.
Yeah, Hampshire needing 167. Of course, it's a few lighter than a couple of days ago when they hit 182. I guess the one thing that sort of slightly concerns me is that Hampshire by far and away batted the best they've batted in this competition, scoring 180. I know it's a few runs less than that, but you do feel that once more they need to pull something out of the bag, something they haven't really been doing in this competition.
And let's not forget, it's always easy to post a score. When you bat first, you're under a lot less pressure than when you are when you chase. So chasing, you're always under a lot more pressure. That's the nature of the game. So, this is going to be a tough chase from Hampshire. It's not going to be easy at all. But I think the key is Munsey and Vince at the top of the order in these first 6 overs.
Yeah, we saw Mason Crane get 1 or 2 to bite, just a little bit. Obviously, Essex have Harmer. They've got Nijar, but finger spinners rather than wrist spinners.
Oh, I think Crane, he's had another exceptional day. He's gone for less than 7 over. He's picked up a wicket. And I said he's a wrist spinner, so he will spin the ball. And to be fair, he's probably more attacking than what Simon Harmer is in white ball cricket. He's obviously a phenomenal red ball bowler, Simon Harmer, but he's not a bowler in T20 cricket that would be a big massive wicket taker unless conditions really do suit him. So I don't expect it to be a huge amount of spin going into this second innings, but I'm sure that Harmer will bowl from that pavilion, from the hotel end, and he's going to be very hard to hit into that long leg side boundary.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Harmer's economy rate in this competition. It's getting up towards 7 3/4, which again isn't bad, as it's from a spinner point of view. And Najar, his economy rate is just a fraction under 9. So, they both haven't been smashed around, that's for sure.
No, they haven't. You've got to forget they also bowl at Chelmsford as well, 50% of their home games, where it's an extremely tough place to go and bowl spin. So, they're two good bowlers, but they're not 2 bowlers that are going to bowl you out. They're only going to get wickets if you really do take risks against them in white ball cricket. So it'll be interesting to see how Hampshire go about that. So I'm looking forward to see what happens.
We'll allow Paul Newton the first 6 overs off of this innings, if that's all right. He's given me the thumbs up. I'm sure if I said 12 overs off, he would have given me 2 thumbs up, knowing Paul. But BBC Radio Solent, BBC Essex, myself, Kevin James, and Hampshire's injured all-rounder Liam Dawson will take you through the first 6 overs here. Then Paul Newton will come back. Liam can stay on for a little while, and then you can go off and enjoy yourself, which is great. So we're also on the BBC Sport website, of course, bbc.co.uk/cricket, and also the live stream via the Hampshire Cricket website. That's also being streamed via the Essex Cricket website, and another way you can watch and listen, you can download the Hampshire Cricket app, which is free, and our commentary will match up with the pictures as well. So George Munsey back in the Hampshire side will face the first delivery. James Vince, the captain, at the non-strikers end, and they will be hoping to get Hampshire off to a decent start here as they chase down this 169 for victory. And the first over for Essex is going to be bowled by Nijar. We've just been talking about him, the left-arm spinner. He's over the wicket, bowling from our commentary end, and he just bounces a bit there to Munsey as it's played out behind square on the leg side, and there's no run.
How long before a reverse sweep from George Munsey?
And it's to the short boundary side, isn't it?
He's got every chance of clearing that that boundary there. I mean, it's not very big. One of his strengths, huge strength of his. So I think it's a shot that he will go to. I think in this over.
Interesting, isn't it? I'm not sure Essex have really set a feel to it. Maybe they can't in the power play, but they'll be aware of it, I guess, because Munsey is known for it. There's the reverse sweep. It's gone in the air. It's a top edge over the top of the keeper. It's safe. It's going down towards the boundary at the hotel end.
It's got 4, I think.
It has. It's a huge top edge.
It's a bit of luck in that. I mean, we called it there. He's going to go to his reverse sweep, and I think if Nijar's done his homework on Munsey here, I think you've got to look to go sometimes a little bit quicker and a little bit fuller to try and get under the bat. And you've got LBW and Bolt comes into play, knowing that he's going to play a lot of reverse sweeps and sweeps here.
So 4 on the board for Hampshire. The ball's back in Nijar's hands. It's a big hit for Munsey out on the leg side, so you would think he won't be trying that quite yet. There's another one. It's a full delivery. It's gone hard on the 45 to the fielder. He was a bit unlucky there, actually.
Unlucky, but I think that's the perfect ball that that I'd be looking to bowl at this stage of the game. Not every ball, but that ball there, you're going to go for a quick Yorker, and you're bringing all modes of dismissal in. So it's clever bowling from Nijar.
It is. I don't know if that's Matt Quinn down there. I don't know, but it's a long way away. There's another reverse sweep. It's in the air. Oh, it's caught.
Oh my good lord!
What a catch! Diving one-handed, and my word indeed, that is a super catch from Sam Cook. I think that is.
How's your luck, George Munsey? That's a phenomenal catch. Who is that again, you said?
I think it's Sam Cook.
Sam Cook, from a seam bowler as well. I mean, that's an unbelievable diving catch. I mean, he's hit it hard, flat with a reverse sweep, and that's one of the best catches you'll see in this competition.
He did enjoy it, is Sam Cook. Wow. That's about as that's about as extended as you can get.
If you can watch a replay to that, hopefully the stream shows it. That is one of the best catches that you'll see in this competition.
Wow. Well, there isn't a stream fee, but if you had to pay for one, it was worth it just for that.
It certainly is. But again, Hampshire, don't mind the intent there from Munsey. We talked about having a good power play, and that's one of Munsey's strengths. He's looking to put the bowler under pressure straight away. So it's one of his percentage shots, and it took a phenomenal bit of fielding there to take a wicket. So all credit to the Essex bowler and the Essex fielders.
Yeah. 4 for 1 then, Hampshire. That's interesting you say that, isn't it? Because I think that's the one thing amongst your teammates, that if you've got out doing something you don't actually practice or you're not actually known for, then that's a little bit...
Yeah, it's poor, isn't it? I mean,
it is,
you're probably letting the team down a little bit there, but I think the reports you hear about Munsey, that reverse sweep is no different to him playing a slog sweep or James Vince playing a cover drive. So it's one of his strengths that he finds a very, very easy shot to play. So there's no, as a coach there and as a batting coach, you're saying, do you know what, you've played to your strengths there, but it took a bit of brilliance in the field to get you out.
I doubt Sam Cook has taken a better catch, but somebody might tweet me at Sonar Sport and say, well, actually he did on this certain day, here, there, whatever. 4 for 1. North East is the new batsman for Hampshire. Oh, he's nearly bowled there. He's playing just outside the line. I think that's gone between bat and pad, and it hasn't missed the off stump by very much.
No, I think Sam's played for a little bit of spin there, and it's either an arm ball or an undercutter that hasn't spun. So again, credit to Nijjar. It's an excellent start from the left arm spinner.
It certainly is. Here he is again then, as North East just pushes forward out square on the offside. So a good start from Essex as they look to defend their total of 168 for 3. Munsey has gone for 4 in that first over, and Nijjar's first 6 balls conceding just 4 runs. And that 1 wicket to his name as well. Just watching the Sam Cook catch again as well. My word, he enjoyed that, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't say that's once in a lifetime, but it's probably once every 3 or 4
probably
seasons.
Is for a bowler.
Actually, probably is. Yes, I was trying to be kind to him, actually. I'll tell you what, I'll just say what I really was going to say.
That's the one
once in a lifetime.
On a cold day, you pretend to dive there. You sort of try and get a fingertip to it, but so it's just a bit too far away and goes to the boundary before. But on a hot day, it's a fantastic catch.
That is absolutely brilliant. Jack Plom looks like the new bowler for Essex. Now, that is a new name to me. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before.
I haven't come across the lad, no. I guess he's a young lad. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And it's obviously another, good something positive out of this summer, that a young player's getting a go that probably wouldn't have played with cold packs and full overseas here this summer.
He's a right-arm seamer, and that's down the leg side. Oh, they're asking for a caught behind, and he's gone. Oh, Vince has gone, and he doesn't look particularly pleased with that. He may have thought that's brushed the thigh pad, and he's looking at the square leg umpire as well. And, well, maybe Essex got a little bit of luck with Sam Cook's catch. Maybe they've got another little bit of luck there again. And Plum has picked up the wicket, caught behind by Pepper. And Vince goes first ball for no score. It
doesn't look a great decision, that, from Billy Taylor. From up here, it looked like it was probably thigh pad to the keeper. And James Vince obviously very, very disappointed walking off the pitch. But I think this just shows that, you need luck as well in this format of the game. And when you're not playing well as a team, sometimes out of form as a batter, these little things certainly go against you. Teams take brilliant catches, you get unlucky decisions from the umpire. And that's just the way it goes. And I think, if you're a team in form, that reverse sweep would have gone over Cook's head, or a drop catch or that down the leg side there wouldn't be given out. So sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
Well, Jack Plum, maybe that's the biggest wicket he's taken so far. He's only 21 years old. He's from Basildon, and this is only his 3rd T20, having made his debut earlier in this competition. And he's only played 1 first-class game as well, and that was against Cambridge MCCU back in 2018. So he hasn't got a lot of first-team pedigree. I think it's fairly safe to say that's his biggest wicket to date.
It is. James Vince is a huge wicket, isn't it? Yeah. But as I said, if you're a Hampshire batter, you'd like to have known, if you're playing this game, you're doing your homework, and you know that he hasn't played much cricket. So he's a bowler that you can still target in this power play, even after losing 2 wickets early on. Yeah,
it's Weatherly, the new batsman for Hampshire. That's on the line of middle and leg, and that's tucked away to deep backward square. So Weatherly is off the mark straight away.
Yep. If I was a coach now, or a captain, or playing, the situation that we're in. I don't want to see us go into our shell and be 20 for 2 off the power play. I'd rather us go out there, be 40 for 4, and just give it a good go. We've got nothing to lose, I mean, we're out of the competition, and let's go out on our own terms and try and put some pressure back on the bowler.
Yeah, that's a good point. As Plum comes in again, and just a bit of extra bounce there, which just tucks Sam North East up a little bit. In fact, maybe a little bit of extra pace. He just took the face and stuck his bottom hand off there a little bit.
I think it's, like you said, did him for an extra bit of pace.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No, certainly no demons in this wicket. It's an absolute belter, as we talked about at the start of the show.
It's an interesting. 168 is a decent score. But when you lose 2 early wickets like that, it's a good point you make about almost not going into your shell a bit, because actually it's going to leave far too much for the later.
Especially here, middle order coming in, the rate builds. It's very hard.
Yeah, that's pulled away by North East, backward to square. That's 4 runs. Super shot. Just helped the ball the way over the line.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery, isn't it? I mean, it wasn't really a bounce. It was a nothing ball, banged into the wicket, just to the left of Sam North East ribs, and he's helped it behind deep square leg for 4. Certainly a good point you make about you don't want to be getting too far behind the rate after the power play, because we talked earlier, it's such a hard ground to come in and keep up with the rate with the size of the boundaries. Yeah.
You can't rely on James Fuller to come out and bang it around for another unbeaten half century in virtually no deliveries at all. But here's Plum again, and North East just guides that down to third man. Run the first one quickly. And it's fielded by Tom Wesley, who's down at third man. Played nicely today, didn't he, Wesley? He got 51 off 39 balls. Yep. Played really nicely. Certainly did. Obviously likes opening the batting in this competition. 10 for 2 then, Hampshire. Munsey back in the pavilion. Vince back in the pavilion. 4 between them. And Vince was out first ball, so that'll tell you how many months he got. Tom again, bowls, and that's pushed on the leg side by Joe Weatherly, no run. Again, it's as a middle order player now, you don't as a number 4, you don't usually get many opportunities to have in the power play. The amount of time that we have, we've got 4 overs now with the power play with North East and Weatherly, so it's actually quite nice knowing that you only have to play good hard cricket shots, and you really do get rewards for your shots that will go to the boundary. So they can hopefully stay positive and put this left arm spinner under pressure still. You must get a little bit fed up though, because the one thing now which is happening with the Hampshire batting that wasn't happening 3 or 4 seasons ago is wickets are falling in the power play, and they're falling early on. It's not really giving you guys a base at all, is it? Here's certainly Joe. I'll come back to that in a moment. He's bowling to Sam North East, and North East cuts that and misses. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But also, I'll be looking at it as, if I was batting now, coming in the middle order, with the power play now, it's such a nice time to bat. You have to just play good cricket shots, and you get so much reward for your shots. Especially on a pitch like this. North East gets a foolish delivery, which off the bottom of the bat works its way up towards deep mid-on, and that'll be a single fielded by Paul Walter, who wasn't required to bat today. He's done well for Essex. Even in Championship cricket, I think he's opened the batting this year, and he's sort of gone from a bowler to a batter who's now, I think, more in red ball cricket. He's trying to turn himself into an opening batter, and he's gone fairly well this year. Yes, he has. Yeah, I know. The BBC Essex guys were saying that Nick Brown a bit out of form, and Walter's been promoted up the orders. That's pushed back to the bowler by Weatherly. No run there. I didn't realise Nick Brown was. I thought he was injured, but I didn't know he was out of form. I think he was out of form, Nick Brown, wasn't he? That was originally. Yes, it was. Yeah, Paul's just nodding there. He's enjoying his few overs off here at the moment. As that's turned away on the onside by Weatherly. There's nobody at deep mid-wicket, and that ball could go all the way, and it does. Nice. I'm quite surprised, but I shouldn't be, because it's the power play, of course. You can only have 2 men out. I'm so used to seeing a deep mid-wicket most of the time. And that's exactly what we're talking about. I mean, that is no risk in that shot whatsoever. He's hardly hit it. He's picked the gap, and it's gone for 4. And that's the intent that Joe Weatherly and Sam North East need to keep up for the next 3.2 overs. Yeah. Weatherly, who's averaging 22 in this tournament, top score of 68 down at Canterbury in the rain-affected game. That's going down the leg side. He's trying to sweep it away on the leg side, is Joe Weatherly, and stunted appeal. But that's something else I don't like. I don't like talking about averages in 2020 cricket, because I think your strike rate is so much important. If you look after your strike rate, your average will look after itself. That's fair enough. Point taken. Thank you, Liam, for ticking me off. That's pushed out towards... mate, I'm only joking. That's pushed out to extra cover. End of the over. 3 overs gone here of the Hampshire reply. They are 15 for 2. In fact, no, you're right, actually. I mean, I suppose reading it out, you think, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, you look at what Lewis McManus did the other day. He got 15 off 6 balls. You know, in that situation, he's come in and done such a good job for the team. But you get to the end of year contract meetings or stats or whatever they want to decide to do, and you actually look, he's only averaging 12 or 15 here, but the job he's done for the team of getting those 15 runs over 6 balls, so he's done an excellent job. So I think if you try and, I think to be a successful, you know, it's something I'm trying to improve is my strike rate. I find I've struggled with that, especially here. But I think if you look to be positive and make your strike rate better, naturally you play more aggressive.
Yeah.
And that looks after your average. Yes, you might get out a few times, but also you'll have more match-winning games and match-winning innings trying to play more aggressive and with a higher strike rate.
Yeah, because, I mean, batting middle order, you're never going to have a huge average, are you? That's for sure. Plum is going to continue from the hotel end, down the leg side, a similar line that was bowled to James Vince, but Northeast doesn't get a touch on that, even if James Vince did, allegedly, and it's gone for a wide down the leg side.
That's Quinn, isn't it? Matt Quinn.
Oh, is it Quinn? Sorry, it's Quinn.
Change
Sorry,
of bowler.
Apologies. His right arm over, that's what confused me.
It's a long way away.
I know, just tell me about it. They look like pins out there. 16 for 2, not quite, but we are a long way away. So Matt Quinn into the attack, right arm over. Running from just inside the 30-yard boundary. Bowling to Sam Northeast. Comes in and bowls, and Northeast cuts and misses. Goes through to keeper Michael Pepper.
Again, nice pace in bounce there. He's a tall bowler, so he's naturally probably going to bowl a little bit shorter when he goes fuller. From facing him, you know, in the past, he's a little bit more floaty. But when he does sort of bowl that length there into the wicket, he can get the ball through.
Certainly does. Quite tall, New Zealander. Qualifies with a British passport. Comes in again, runs towards us. And bowls to Northeast, who just guides that to backward point, but there's no run there, no gap there. Fielded by Cameron Delport. So this is tough here for Hampshire at the moment, is that they've been rocked by those 2 early wickets. Muncie and James Vince, they were 4 for 2. They're not much further forward here at 16 for 2.
If you look already, the run rate's over 9 and over, and that's going to build very, very quickly if we don't look to finish this power play strongly.
It's built up, from just below, what was it, about 8.5, wasn't it? 8, somewhere around there. Here's Quinn again, bowls, and Northeast guides that up through point for 4 runs. Just enough width for Northeast just to hit those hands through the ball. Times it nicely.
Yeah, it's a fantastic shot, isn't it? Effortless from Sam. Little bit of width from Quinn, and Sam's punished it, so that's brilliant batting.
Northeast moves on to 10. Yes, there were signs that Sam Northeast was getting back into form in the last game here. 37 off 28 balls against Kent. So 20 for 2 here. Northeast is on 10. Run a ball 10.
You can see a field change now. I think he's realised that it's a fraction of width, so he's decided to bring third man up and put deep mid-wicket back. So he's probably going to look to bowl slower balls into the pitch and get hit to that big boundary on the leg side.
So here's Quinn then, bowls, and that straightener's cut away, but straight to Delport again, who throws the ball at the bowler's end.
Excellent shot, wasn't it? Again,
yeah.
Slower ball from Quinn. Sam gave himself a little bit of room and slightly unlucky to hit the fielder, but good signs from Sam. He's middling the ball nicely.
There's 4 fielders from, I wouldn't even say extra cover, it's probably more cover, but sort of extra cover-ish through to the 45. There are 4 men patrolling that area on the 30-yard circle. There's not a lot of gap between them. Maybe Northeast might have a bit more luck later in the over. Maybe this delivery as it's bowled, and Northeast goes aerial on the onside bounce, is just in front of mid-on. Just.
It's the ideal ball, I think, that he wanted there. Nice. It's probably in the slot, and the intent was brilliant. Just a bit unlucky not to hit out the middle of the bat, but I wouldn't say it was a great ball, and the ball Quinn was looking to bowl there.
No, Paul Walter it is at mid-on. Tall figure. And Northeast not quite out of the middle of the bat, as Liam Dawson says. He's on 10 still, 20 for 2 here, Hampshire. Still needing another 149 as Quinn comes in and bowls, and Northeast goes aerial, and he's taken this time. Again, he couldn't quite get the elevation that he wanted, and that's a good catch there from Walter. Took it about chest height, and Northeast goes for 10, 30 for 2. Sorry, 20 for 3.
I think you just need a little bit of luck. I mean, look at that dismissal. I mean, probably 3-4 yards either side, and that's going to go to the boundary. He's hit it hard And he's just picked the fielder out, so a little bit unlucky from Sam Northeast there.
So Northeast goes for 10, and he joins George Munsey and James Vince back in the pavilion. So Hampshire's job of overhauling the Essex total of 168 for 3 has just got a whole lot harder.
It has, and it's changing the batting order as well. It was, I think Fuller came in the other day. McManus has batted 5 before, but it looks like Ian Holland is coming out at number 5. So I'm guessing from that move, they're probably saying potentially just sit in the game a little bit now. We've lost 3 wickets, and sort of Holland can sort of just bat for maybe 4 or 5 overs and maybe try and get a partnership.
So you don't think with 2 overs left of the power play and the form that James Fuller's in, that actually it was worth him coming out?
Unless Hampshire are now thinking that we've got to try and take the game deep and backing Fuller to do what he did the other night, which is very, very hard to do consistently.
Sure.
But I'm sure they would have potentially spoke about that in the change room. So it'd be interesting to see why Holland has come out now.
So 4 overs gone, 2 overs left of the power play, and Hampshire in disarray again at 20 for 3. And as Liam Dawson says, it's had a little bit of well, luck's not quite been on their side, but all credit to Essex. They're putting pressure on Hampshire early on here, as there's a reverse sweep there from Weatherly. It's gone very fine, and it's gone past the diving fielder, and that's going to go all the way. That's 4 runs for Joe Weatherly. It's
a brilliant shot. I mean, from a bowling point of view, that would really frustrate me. To get beat on your inside there from a decent ball, I think you'd have to be a little bit finer. So the angles are probably slightly wrong there, because as a batter, it's sort of a free shot with any pace on the ball. As he's actually going finer now.
Yeah, I think that is Paul Walter still in that position. Here's Nijar again, then bowls. He just follows Weatherly, who just slightly outside of his leg stump, but guides it to backward point, and they'll pick up a single. Weatherly moves into double figures. 25 for 3. I've got an update to do for silent listeners in about 6 minutes, Paul, so it might be worth me just staying on for another 6 minutes, and then when I've done that, Paul Newton will come on with Liam Dawson, if that's all right. And Dawson will stay with us for a little while, and then he can go off and do whatever he wants to do.
Oy.
That's turned away on the leg side by Ian Holland. He's off the mark. 26 for 3. You got excited there.
Yeah, good ball, wasn't it, from Nijar, sort of back of a length straight. It's a good job Holland got back on that, because that would have been a very close LBW call.
Certainly would. 26 for 3 then. Weatherly back on strike here in the sunshine of the Aegeus Bowl on the south coast. As Nijar bowls, and whether it comes down the wicket, it's in the air and it's safe. It's gone through mid-wicket. That's 4 runs. Again,
excellent from Weatherly. I mean, the intent that he's showing here, and he's playing such low-risk cricket. Such a low-risk shot coming down and hitting it wide of mid-on. So that's brilliant batting, especially losing a wicket the over before and being 3 down. To be brave like that in pay percentage cricket is superb to see.
Especially with 10 off the over. I just momentarily got worried because it was in the air slightly, but I was worried about Harmer at mid-wicket, but perhaps I shouldn't have been. It was a good shot, as Liam Dawson says. Weatherly's on 14 then. 30 for 3 now, Hampshire. Need 139 from here as Nijar bowls, and there's attempted slog sweep on the onside. It's gone off the pad on the offside. Maybe an inside edge onto the pad, because Weatherly's going to be credited with a single. 31 for 3.
Yeah, again, good bowling from Nijar, followed him. He's got 1 ball left here, needs to get out the over, so ideally he'd like to bowl at his hip and get hit to the leg side.
He's done well, hasn't he? Because he's bowling to the short boundary side with the right-handers in, and that's turned away nicely by Ian Holland behind square. Only a single though, and that will be...
He's been excellent, isn't he? I mean, he's bowled 3 overs in the power play, he's got a wicket, and he's only gone for 21 runs, so it's exceptional from Nijar, the finger spinner.
He's got nice flight as well, hasn't he?
He has, he's varied it nicely. He's gone a little bit slower, and then when he's realised that he's potentially in a little bit of trouble and the batsman might lining up, he's gone a little bit shorter and quicker into the wicket to try and get hit on the leg side. So he's done brilliantly and offered a lot of control for Simon Harmer in that power play.
BBC Essex, BBC Radio Solent, BBC Sport Online, and also the live picture feed via the Hampshire Cricket website and the Essex Cricket website. You can match up the pictures with our commentary. I'm Kevin James, Liam Dawson next to me, Paul Newton from BBC Essex will be on in about 3 or 4 minutes time or so. This is Sam Cook. Sam Cook into the attack then, right arm over from the hotel end, and bowls and bowled. Straight away he's got a wicket as Holland was looking to work that away on the onside. Full delivery. Holland deceived. I don't know if he picked the delivery up. I was quite surprised it went through. He goes for 2.
Yeah, it looked a pretty normal delivery, didn't it? I'm not sure it did much off the pitch. I think Holland's probably just missed a fairly straight ball there. So credit to the bowler though for hitting the stumps. You're always in for a chance if you can do that.
So Sam Cook joins in the Essex party here at the moment, and Hampshire have made an awful start, it has to be said, here at 32 for 4. Maybe George Munsey was unlucky when he was well caught by Cook at backward point, reverse sweeping. Maybe James Vince was unlucky. Maybe he did get a nick down the leg side. Maybe he didn't. He went for no score, but Hampshire now a 4 down here, and or James Fuller is in. If we were debating whether James Fuller would come out in the power play or not, well, that's killed that debate because he is coming out. There's nobody, I wouldn't say there's nobody else left, but he's had to come out.
No, I mean, it's going to be very, very hard for Hampshire to win this game now. 137 runs to win, and yeah, they're hugely up against it.
How did Hampshire win it from here then, Liam?
Being brave, I think. I mean, there's no point in losing by 30, 40 runs. You just got to back yourself and keep taking risks. I mean, the rate's going to be nearly at 10 and over soon, so there's not much time to get yourself in.
No. I seem to remember you coming out in situations like this a few times. Here's Cook bowls, and Fuller gets that on middle and leg and just turns it away on the leg side. And
I think if we're smart, I think we haven't got to target this end. That's a huge boundary, but certainly whoever comes on to this end to bowl, it's the run rate required. It's certainly we're going to have to target this boundary with the runs per over required now.
Sam Cook's playing just his 3rd T20 game of this season, and that was his 4th wicket. As he's bowling to Joe Weatherly here, and Weatherly gets wrapped on the pad as he's trying to turn that away on the leg side. No run.
It's such a tough format to get back into form, T20 cricket. I mean, if you're out of form in the Championship, you have no pressure of scoring runs. You can feel like you can bat for 2 hours and face 60, 70 balls, and that's how you get your rhythm back. But even 50 over cricket, you have time to get your rhythm back. But T20, if you're out of form, it's the hardest game to get back into format.
Cook again from that hotel end is full on leg stump, and Weatherly works that on the 45. The throw comes in, and Matt Quinn throwing the ball at the keeper's end, but single it is. Weatherly moves on to 16, 34 for 4. No, you're right, isn't it? I mean, it's the footwork's needed and the confidence of moving outside leg stump and playing across the line. If you're not picking the ball up very well, then it's
extremely tough.
Here's Cook again then, this time to Fuller, short, and Fuller's trying to pull that away on the leg side. Called wide by umpire Billy Taylor at the far end.
I think the biggest thing is you probably start fearing your wicket, which I think we certainly have been doing. Looking at today's dismissals, it doesn't seem that we feared our wicket. It's probably just the execution, and that's what's gone wrong. But it's certainly not a format of the game where if you start fearing your wicket, you're going to be successful. You've got to be brave all the time, whether you're in form or out of form.
Yeah. That update's coming up shortly for silent listeners this hour. That's down the leg side again from Sam Cook. He started the over well, but stuck in a couple of wides here. So 36 for 4.
Yeah, I mean, if Hampshire fans are going to be obviously very, very disappointed with this how this campaign's gone. But it's not for the want of trying. The lads are trying their hardest to win games of cricket. We obviously want to win games, but I think as a group we'd admit we're not playing well enough at the minute, and we're way below where we should be.
Cook bowls, that's straighter. Fuller works that straight to mid wicket. No run there. 133 from here. Yes, it's a tough call with the rate going up all the time. It's nearly 9.5. Liam.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you've got to give yourself maybe an over to get in as a new bat, and then you've got to look to go, pretty soon.
Well, if anybody can attack that score, it's James Fuller, who's one of the few Hampshire batsmen that is in form, as he turns that away behind square on the leg side. Runs the first one quickly. There won't be 2 as Quinn moves quickly around to deepish square leg. That's the end of the over, and 6 overs gone, so that's the power play gone. And I'm afraid it hasn't been a good power play for Hampshire. Good one for Essex. 5 runs off that over. Hampshire 37 for 4.
Yeah, without doubt, it's been Essex day so far. I think Nijjar is going to continue for his final over. He's been brilliant. He's bowled the tough overs. He's bowled 3 overs in the power play, and he's going to complete his 4th now. He's 1 for 21 at the minute, and Simon Hahn will be over the moon with the job that his left-arm spinner has done for him.
Certainly. It's bowled quite nicely from this pavilion end. He's going to be bowling to James Fuller at the start of over number 7. This update's coming up shortly, and then Paul Newton will come into the chair alongside Liam Dawson. Fuller's just looking around the field. 3 men out on that short boundary side away to our right, and Fuller drives up towards mid-off, and that will be just a single as Ryan Tenduscarter comes in off the deep mid-off boundary. 38 for 4. So this update's coming up now. Yeah, Liam, just hang on for a moment. I'm just waiting for this update. Nijar round the wicket to Joe Weatherly. He's just taking his time here. Don't know why. Perhaps looks like Ryan Tenduscarter's going slightly wider at deep mid-off. Nijar bowls, and Weatherly pushes it back to the bowler. Is he out caught and bowled? I think he might be. And Weatherly goes. Just pushed out at that, and the ball just carried to Nijar, and Weatherly looks so disappointed. He goes for 16, and Hampshire, if they weren't in disarray before, well, they are 38 for 5 is probably the best way I can describe that. I don't think I really need to say any more than that. 38 for 5, and that looked a fairly soft dismissal. Caught and bowled Aaron Nijar, and all I can say is please don't switch off. This game might look over, but we're going to do our very best to still talk it up and talk as though Hampshire can still knock off this 131 runs, or at least get this game close. But you have to say, from what we've seen so far, this has probably just about summed up Hampshire's T20 season. I will get Liam to make a comment in a moment, but I know that they're going to come to me in a moment, so they can't. In fact, they are coming to me right now. So here we go. I'll try and talk up my best here for the listeners. I'm afraid that it's not a great Hampshire batting performance here. They started their innings needing 169 for victory, but I'm afraid they are 38 for 5 here in the 7th over. Gone as George Munsey, James Vince went first ball, Sam Northeast has gone, Ian Holland, and now Joe Weatherly has been out caught and bowled. So Hampshire struggling here, 38 for 5. Live commentary right now via the BBC Sport website and app. So I'll do to the end of the over. And you've got licence now, Liam, to give your verdict on that last dismissal.
Probably a soft dismissal. I mean, neither really here or there, and just chipping it back to Nijar. But he's deserved his wicket as he comes into McManus, full toss. Excellent fielding there by the seam bowler Sam Cook. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Nijar, as I said, he's been excellent for his captain. He's bowled the tough overs, and he's deserved his 2 wickets for 22 runs. He's been brilliant.
Nijar again, and he's trying to work that away, and he's bowled. Oh my word, McManus goes now. Now, did that straighten a fraction? I'm not sure. It was fairly full, and McManus tried to work that on the onside, and he's gone for no score. And Nijar and Essex, they're all over Hampshire.
I mean, that's not a great ball at all there. I mean, I think Lewis could have hit that wherever he wanted to. A drag down, and he's probably tried to be too nice to it and just clip it into the leg side, where actually it deserved to go for a boundary. So that's poor cricket from Hampshire. Not a great ball at all from Nijar, but he won't mind. He's got 3 for 22 off his 3.4 overs so far.
Well, I tell you what, I think we better get Paul Newton in pretty quick, because by the time he comes on, the game's over. 38 for 6. And, oh my word, it's horrible from a Hampshire point of view. In fact, I will come off. Because I think it probably is time for Paul Newton to come in, and he can gloat. Paul.
Yeah, I'm quite good at gloating. And may I say, very well done to yourself, taking all those wickets. I've never taken so many in such a hurry. You can come again. But at least Liam here can claim to have a foot in both camps, having had a little interlude with this. Was it about 2015, Liam?
It was, yeah, and I loved it. You know, I really enjoyed it. I was thankful of Essex, to give me that opportunity and play some cricket. And yeah, I really enjoyed my time down at Chelmsford. It was brilliant. Well,
it was good having you there. Here is Nijar, who's had a terrific afternoon here. The ball's played out into the covers by the latest of several new batsmen. This one being Chris Wood, who's joined James Fuller, 38%. 6.
I think if there's ever a time for Chris Wood to get a 50, his first one, I mean, this is the time. He's got 13 overs to try and get one.
So Nijjar to complete a terrific spell. 2 wickets off this over and just 1 run conceded. It was 37 for 4 when he started. Dot ball down to mid-on. It is 38 for 6 at the end of it, and a spell of 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 22.
No, he's been brilliant. I mean, that's a man of the match performance, isn't it? He's bowled 3 overs in the power play, the hardest overs you can bowl, and he's bowled 4 in a row, which is in 2020 cricket to do that and only go for 22 runs is exceptional. So, you know, for me already, he's man of the match.
Yeah, very good points indeed, and I feel there's a much better shape to Essex. First of all, as we were saying when we were last on together, Liam, that for me, I like Tom Wesley opening rather than batting at 3 and enabling Lawrence to come in first drop. And secondly, Nijjar, who's hardly played for Essex, his only game last season in this competition, or any competition, was finals day. As we see, little matter of Simon Harmer coming into the attack at the hotel end, and they get single out to deep mid wicket, 39 for 6.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Essex this year, but I mean, playing against them over the years, I think when Wesley opens the batting, I think that's a better for him as a player. Yes. You know, he's a fantastic player, so yeah, I think him opening the batting is the way to go. Nijjar, I've obviously found a good combination with Simon Harmer. It's obviously tough to bowl double spin at Chelmsford sometimes because of the nature of the boundaries, but I mean, away from home, from what you've seen today, he'd play all the time.
Harmer is in. Bowls, and this ball's just played by Chris Wood.
I guess it's tough though for Nijjar because you've had Adam Zampa as your second spinner, so you know you're never going to go to Chelmsford and play 3 spinners. So he's probably got in the way, but again, Zampa's a world-class bowler.
Harmer's in, bowls this ball played back, and Harmer, in addition to being a sensational bowler and no mug with the bat, has enormous hands and is a quite brilliant fieldsman. He's excellent, more so in red ball cricket. You know, he's the best in the country, and he has been for a number of years, and he's by far the best off spinner by a mile. As the next ball is hit in the air, but beautifully timed. That's a lovely shot from Chris Wood through extra cover for 4. 4 from the moment it left the bat, 43 for 6.
Yeah, I mean, Simon Harmer, going back to Simon Harmer, you talk about off spinners and who's the best. He is the best. I mean, his control, the amount of wickets that he gets, and he also bowls in a 3-man attack in 4-day cricket. You know, you have 3 seamers and then him. So that's a great effort to do that in England.
Harmer's in, bowls, and this ball's just maybe off the pad, but we won't know because they don't get a run. It remains 43 for 6. Harmer is also an amazing catcher of the ball at second slip, incredible reactions, hand-to-eye coordination. But as you say, he's got something like 230 odd wickets in 4 seasons at Essex, and that's including this season with such a foreshortened season. Single here down to long off from Chris Wood as he moves along to 544 for 6. But surely Essex have broken the back of this Hampshire batting in the power play. Yeah, they did. I mean, that was interesting delivery from Harmer there. It looked like he bowled a leg spinner. Yeah. Wasn't an off spinner, so it's something that he's obviously been working on, which is credit to him, especially in 2020 cricket. Whereas if you can take the ball both ways or have a little bit of deception, that's a fantastic thing to be able to do. Well, Essex back in the day, that's the end of that over, 44 for 6 with 8 overs gone, target 169. Paul Newton here with Liam Dawson, mainly formerly of Hampshire, but also Essex for a brief spell in 2015. Kevin James will be rejoining us in due course, who of course was a very distinguished Hampshire player back in the era when Graham Gooch would be among his adversaries. And I saw Kevin James ruin an afternoon for me once by getting Gooch out. I've never totally forgiven him, but he's ever such a nice fellow. As Cook, Cook comes in from the pavilion end and concedes a single first ball, and the score to 45 for 6. And really, the pattern for the innings was set when in the very first over, George Munsey reverse swept Nijjar, and Sam Cook, using that overworked expression already, rose like a salmon at square leg and plucked the ball out of the ether. And really, when that happens, I think you do slightly feel maybe it's not going to be our day when you lose a man to what would normally have been the 4 or even the 6. As here's Cook in and bowls, and that ball goes over the wicket-keeper's head, probably go down to, well, I was going to say to the boundary, but it'll just be cut off. Deep third man there by Quinn, and in the end, they get back for a couple. And Fuller has 4, Wood has 6. It's 47 for 6. I mean, Essex are going to have their minds on the Bob Willis Trophy final, aren't they? I mean, Yeah.
good to see them in it, because I mean, you know, two of the